initial parameters as possible. Here we can see a short list of those. Produce a randomized and somewhat realistic country, including terrain, population, basic economy, and, most importantly, the politics of that country. So, here we can see it's loaded with default parameters, but these can be changed if you wish. So let's just start the simulation. Alright, so after some loading time, we see here the main interface of the game, the interactive map, where we're on the geography map mode. We can see the terrain that we've generated here. This is only one of a few map modes. You can also see the population density, and you'll notice that the population is, as you might expect, centered around areas such as the coasts, and in particular, natural bay formations, lower elevations versus higher elevations, lakes, and similar formations. Now, let's take a look at the regions. Now, these regions are analogous to, I'd say, counties, cities, possibly small states, if we're talking U.S. terms, and you can select these regions and see a variety of different pieces of information about them. And here we can see this population and economic information that was generated, and how it's changing over time. So, up here we have the time scale, which we can change if we wish, but I'm going to keep it on a month. And so, every month, that will tick, and some amount of change will occur in the economic and political factors. If we click on politics, we can see that there are in fact a number of parties in this country, and this map mode shows us where they have their support. Now, what is the support based on? Notice that it's changing over time. Let's go into the institution info. Alright, so these parties have randomized names, and they also have randomized policies. These policies determine how much support they get from each different region. Each different region has a set of positions on these topics, and they will tend to support those parties which are more in line with their positions on average. So we see here that there's a relatively even split of population support, but some parties control a much larger number of regions than others. And this is a somewhat realistic effect when the distribution of supporters is not entirely equal. So if we go back here, we can see that every so often these borders will change. If I set the time up here to a year, then you'll notice some of these regions start flipping. And when will this happen? Well, it depends largely on economic factors. The simulated economy has its ups and downs. If the economy is doing well, people will tend to support the parties that are in power at that time. And if it's doing poorly, they'll tend to shy away from them in favor of new options. And of course, at all times, it's important to consider the natural leanings of the various areas. For example, this white party here, the first party, they appeal to the coastal populations in cities, it seems. And that's unlikely to change over time. If we're done with this, we can go back to the menu and try it again with different parameters. I could make the terrain very smooth. I could make it so that the economy